Steve, your book, The Met-She Message, I finished it yesterday afternoon after the show. So we'll talk about that later. The last 3, 4, 5 chapters, wow, were those spiritually uplifting. Really spiritually uplifting. As we discussed last time you called in, the earlier stuff about Andre, the beginning part, I thought could have been a bit condensed. You made your point! But boy, the last few chapters, when the story reaches its conclusion and comes together and you find out that Andre and John are not nuts, they're telling the truth about their contact with the Metans and the Shegans, the aliens. And then just a wonderful, maybe we're not doomed. So I finished that book in the afternoon. Maybe we're not doomed. Maybe there is hope for the human race. Maybe we can hold on to our better angels, our intelligence, and improve things here on planet Earth. And then you read about another shooting, the 18th school shooting in 2018. Wow. Well, the political stuff doesn't generate phone calls, which makes sense because this is AM radio, the wheelhouse of conservative-type people, and I'm lots of things, but I'm anything but conservative. Thank God! Sometimes we talk about toys and humorous stuff. The most phone calls we ever got, 8 in 22 minutes. The subject was toilet paper. Well, I've done it again. Picked a topic that I thought was interesting, but oh well, swing and a miss. Darn. So I guess we'll move on without phone calls. Comrade Joe texts the show at 774-287-6194. Fry the woman, although he didn't say woman. If you're just joining us up in Canada, a woman's driving in the left-hand lane of a major highway outside of Montreal, sees a duck and cute little baby ducklings in the median strip. Wants to save the ducklings. Who wouldn't want to save ducklings? So she stops her car in the left-hand lane. No flashers, no nothing. Gets out of the car to try to save the ducks. An 18-wheeler has to swerve into the right lane to avoid hitting a car, stopped in the left-hand lane. He swerves in front of motorcycles. Motorcycles swerve out of the way of the 18-wheeler, slam into the stopped car. A father and a 16-year-old daughter dead. Her attorney says it was an accident. She meant well. There was no criminal intent. She should be not guilty. Prosecutor said a reasonable, prudent person would never have done something that stupid. She's guilty. What do you think? Let's go to the phone lines at 508-222-1320. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. Hey, Steve.
Hey, I think saving ducks is a laudable goal, but not on the highway.
Bing, 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 bing. So, yep.
I definitely think she's guilty, but I also think the truck driver, if he didn't see the car in time, he probably was going too fast or was on his cell phone or whatever.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, an 18-wheeler, they don't exactly stop on a dime.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Well, I can't judge that because I don't drive, but I'm wondering how far ahead. I mean, you're not expecting that. That's true, so it's definitely more her fault.
Yeah.
But if you could see the car a reasonable distance away, you could slow down. But like I said, I don't drive, so I can't speak to that.
So guilty or not guilty of criminal negligence?
Guilty. I mean, it wasn't criminal intent, but she has to realize that it was wrong. It was a terrible accident. But
now the sentence for that, for 2 people dying because of criminal negligence, the sentence could be as high as life in prison. That seems extreme to me. What would your sentence be, Judge Steve, now that you have found her guilty of criminal negligence?
That's a good question. Probably not life. I mean.
Yeah, I think that's a little strong too. But
I mean, people get less than life for murder.
Yeah. So what the heck? I mean, we're just making this up as we go along. What would your sentence be for this criminal negligence?
At least 5 years.
Okay. What about driving privileges?
Probably a 10-year suspension of the license.
A 10-year suspension of license. Isn't it interesting that you came up with that figure? And when I read the judgment, you'll see why. Hey, were you with us at the very beginning of the show?
No, unfortunately not.
I finished your book yesterday afternoon.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, the last 3-4 chapters. And because not everyone's read the book, I'll make this quick. Boy, was that uplifting. Spiritually uplifting, positive. I read that book. I was in a great, great mood. Maybe things aren't hopeless and helpless for humanity. Maybe we can somehow appeal to our intelligence and better angels and improve the human condition. Closed the book, walked out of the bedroom, turned on the TV, and saw the shooting in Florida.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, my second book moves faster with the Andre stuff.
That's what I was going to say. I thought the Andre setup, I thought you had made your point and then kept going and going and going with it. Later in Andre's life, like high school and college, those are very quick, efficient chapters. And I thought some of the earlier ones could have been as well. But the last 3-4 chapters where the climax comes and you find out that John and Andre are not insane. They really have communicated with aliens. That was good stuff, Steve.
Oh, thanks for the plug.
All right. Okay, well, thank you so much, Judge Steve. So you've ruled guilty of criminal intent, up to 5 years in jail, and losing her license for 10.
Yeah, I mean, unless I hear something else.
Okay.
Sounds good to me. Bye.
Right, thanks a lot. There he goes, 508-222-1320, 508-222-1320. That's Steve's verdict, Agent 224. Is that too harsh? Is that not harsh enough? Is he wrong? She is not guilty of criminal negligence. She's just guilty of being kind, loving of little ducklings, and stupid. Oh, here's a new remote correspondent. This is good news. Agent 46 writes in, she should not be given a life sentence. I think the truck saw her car, but the truck was blocked. Oh, the truck saw her car, but the truck blocked the motorcycles. Oh, that's what we're saying. Okay, so she stops in the left-hand lane. Truck sees her stopped. Truck has to swerve into the right lane to avoid the car that's stopped in the left-hand lane. Motorcycles are behind the truck. So the truck is able to avoid the car, but because the truck is a truck, the motorcycle riders can't see what's in front of the truck. The truck just barely avoids the stopped car. And suddenly, to the motorcycles, there's the car right there. And Andre Roy and his daughter, as a passenger on the motorcycle, could not avoid the car at the last minute. Okay. And then another remote correspondence here. Ned says, this story is 3.5 years old. It took you that long to read it? Hey, it was just in this week's edition of Reader's Digest, Ned. Come on, I just read this story yesterday. It took me less than 24 hours to bring this to your attention. Carol said this story will get some phone calls. Carol was wrong. But there it is, folks. That's why, if I had my druthers, I'd like to do more of a talk show, but that's not going to work on this frequency during this time slot. So I am forced to try to do more of a entertainment